Hey guys, MoJK here. I wanted to talk about some tier lists that have come out on Reddit, and well, they're not from Reddit, but they were posted on Reddit for people to, share and everything like that. So I'm gonna basically go over two of the new ones. First, we have this graphic here that basically just puts them all on one, easy to see graphic. For the most part, they kind of have it generally right here, but I would say that I disagree on some of the things for sure. I think everybody would disagree with some things because this is very opinion based. I think the three that pretty much nobody can really debate is that the top three are Kirito, Asuna, and Silica in some kind of order. If you were to ask me, put a gun to my head and ask me for rank them 1, 2, 3, I'd probably put Asuna number 1 because she's just got really fast DPS, like high DPS on ranking fights and things like that. She has no weaknesses really. Sometimes rapiers can be a little bit annoying as far as like hitting small enemies, like what are those, the rabbit things. But for the most part, she's really good. Kirito is probably number 2. And again, this is all, situational and things like that, but he's really good at clearing out mobs, very good for questing and things like that, but he's a little bit slower at killing bosses in my experience. I mean, his attack animation for SS3 is, definitely longer, takes more time. It's awesome, but it's not as efficient as Asuna. And then Silica is a close number 3. She's very fast attacker, and her SS3 is actually pretty fast too, but yeah, I feel like maybe it doesn't clear mobs as easily and stuff like that. Sinon, I would say, is definitely ranked too high in this one. She's great at killing the boss with like the final shot or doing burst damage after a parry and things like that, but she's not really self-sufficient in that way. She's not like the one character that you need to carry you through content. She's more like, supplements your team or, kind of brings that extra 2 or 3 seconds down for the rankings and stuff like that. But she's not really like a standalone S+ unit in the traditional sense. So I think she's ranked too highly here. I'm not going to go character by character. I do agree with Elizabeth being a couple of tiers down from these top 3 here. And I guess all the cheer units are up here because their SS3 are pretty useful. They, give the party an attack buff. So it's always going to be useful as far as support skills go. And then these couple here, I mean, mace users and bow users are generally not as strong. And then we have the 3 wind units here. I would say that out of the 3, well, I haven't tried Argo to be honest, except in the skill trial, but I do prefer Premier a little bit over Silica, which surprised me because I thought Silica would be better. But I like I don't know, I just kind of like how efficient and reliable her SS3 is. She's not going to really miss because it's like a very simple attack. And, the speed bonuses from the wind characters are pretty noticeable. I like them a lot, but not too much disagreement with the S and A tier, in my opinion. I don't really have the cheer units except for cheer Yui on my main, and I wouldn't necessarily call her an S tier character unless you really want that support. And especially if you have OS characters, you don't really need the attack buff. But if you don't, then I can see the argument for this. Personally, I'd probably put them A tier, and these guys would be S tier alone, except Sinon would be a tier down as well. B tier, Yuki, I mean, people keep saying she's really strong. I've found that her DPS seems pretty low, and I would definitely agree with her being a tier down from OS Lisbeth. If you upgrade her SS3, she probably does get a lot better, because it makes it faster and stronger. Asuna and 7, they're pretty equivalent as far as healers and mages go. They can either be really important and useful, or they could just kind of be like useless, because sometimes you don't need healers. Philia is up here mainly after she got her SS3 buff and can debuff the enemy's defense. Silica is, I'm surprised she's a little bit low here. There might be an argument for her at A tier, but it's true, like her SS3 is a buff and it heals her, but she doesn't have like that crazy combo ability. So her DPS is reliant on like crits and just being strong overall, but she doesn't have that like strong SS3 in the traditional sense. And then C tier, I don't think there's much disagreement or argument here. I did enjoy Straya for a while. Her SS3 is pretty useful as far as like knocking up bosses and, you know, just kind of clearing what's in front of you. But I'd say C tier, they're all usable, but you're gonna struggle as far as clearing content easily or getting high rank and stuff like that. And then D tier, all characters not listed above are D tier or below. It's a little bit harsh for some of the characters, but I mean, I guess these listed here are clearly a step above. So anyway, this is the first tier list that I just kind of wanted to quickly run through. The next one that I ran across, and I'll put the links in the description below, this one actually makes an attempt to explain why the characters are ranked as such. So this is the SS tier, and the 3 characters that they put up here are no controversy. Again, Silica, Asuna, and Kirito. And you can read this for yourself. Again, I'm going to put the link below. S tier, this is 1 tier down. They put Silica, which I think is kind of more in line with the traditional thinking. Lisbeth and Sinon, I think this is pretty accurate, I would say. I mean, Lisbeth is very solid, very tanky, but, you know, slow. And then Sinon is very strong at burst damage, but she's not really great on her own unless you just really specialize in her. And you're going to have to dance around and, you know, play very skillfully in order to make her work that way. So that's S tier. The A tier here is pretty surprising. They have the free kind of exclusive or limited time Asuna here. And they do mention that she's an A- character, so they're just kind of like, these are not all equal. Premier is an A+ character. I would agree with that. She's definitely a step above this Asuna. Here we have Straya, very solid character, and again, she has her buff. R goes up here as well, A+ character. And then Yui, again, she has her buff, and her SS3 is a pretty decent animation, even if it's not very impressive. I think Yuki, again, is overrated here. I don't think she's on the same level as like Premier. I have Premier now, and I would say that she just clears things much easier than Yuki can. And then we have the healers here. So again, can be super useful or not used much at all. And then B tier is Philia, again with her debuff. They say that she's a B+ if you use her as a debuff only, but overall as a character she's more like a B. Silica's a little bit lower here, and I'm not sure why she's a whole tier down from like Premier, but I don't know, maybe her SS3 misses sometimes and is not as useful. Sinon, again a dagger character, I'm surprised she's down here as well. And we have kind of like the typical other characters here. They actually do include Kirito. He seems pretty decent, so I was surprised that he would be considered D tier on the other list. And then we have Silica and Asuna, who are the worst cheerleader characters for sure. And then GGO Sinon. Again, probably for the same reason as OS Sinon, just good for burst damage. But I know GGO Sinon was considered pretty bad before. And then finally we have ranked the C tier characters, and these are just like the free characters, and then just like a couple of crappy gacha ones as well. I would say within this tier, there's definitely ones that stand out a lot more than the others. Like, you know, these gacha Silica is clearly better than the Nightwear Asuna or the free Rito here. Yuna is clearly better than the other free characters, I would say. And then, you know, Water Kirito, I mean, he carried me through some easy content, easy to intermediate content for sure. His SS3 would stun lock the enemies, so he's clearly better than some of the free characters. The healer, Asuna here, probably better than some of the other ones. And then the water bow, Sinon here. So, yeah, these are just rough rankings, of course, and you can read it for yourself, but I just wanted to quickly go through it and share my thoughts. It's just rough guidelines, so don't take it as gospel, guys. It's going to depend on situations, your playstyle, but I just wanted to point out that there are new tier lists out here because we have had new characters introduced into the game, and I was seeing a lot of the same old tier lists over and over again, so it's nice to see some updates. But let me know what you guys think. I kind of tend to agree more with this tier list here because with this one, I just think that it's they have a couple characters that are a little bit out of place in my opinion, but all in all, they have the general right idea, so it's hard to fault them for it. And again, these are all opinions, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, I'd be curious to see what your thoughts are.